Well, 2 years have passed since Winter Storm Uri overloaded the Texas power grid and plunged much of our state into darkness. And at the state capitol today, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick revealed his plan to prevent that kind of disaster from ever happening again. Our political reporter Greg Groogan live tonight in our newsroom to tell us what is now on the table. Greg.
John, Patrick says Texas already has more wind and solar than all but 4 countries in the entire world. A rush to renewables that has come at the expense of reliability. Now, if approved, the slate of proposals he announced today will swing our state's power pendulum in the opposite direction. Touted as a multi-billion-dollar strategy to balance, bolster, and boost the supply of electricity in Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick announced a slate of bills he believes will insulate the Lone Star State from future shortage and blackout. Topping the list, a fleet of publicly funded emergency backup generators.
Businesses won't come to Texas, and citizens won't feel safe unless they know we have the dispatchable power for the growing needs of Texas.
Dispatchable, as in fossil fuel and nuclear generation, capable of operating when weather conditions prevent wind and solar from contributing electrons to the grid. State Senator Charles Schwartner says state and federal subsidies for so-called renewables have distorted the energy market, stunting development of more reliable fossil fuel generation.
And so we need that dispatchable generation to balance out and assure that we have a grid that's performing in times of critical need.
Among the proposals backed by Patrick, ultra-low interest loans to fund construction of new fossil fuel generation, cancellation of all state subsidies for wind and solar, new protections to harden the grid against cyber attacks, and starting in 2024, a mandate that 50% of all new generation built in Texas be dispatchable.
We're going to build those plants, and we're going to have renewables that help keep our air clean and our prices low. That's why a lot of companies move here. And we're going to have dispatchable that guarantees in the worst weather conditions that when you hit that light switch, the lights come on.
And Greg, I know a lot of people are hoping that this may move through. I didn't hear anything, though, about the cost. So if Patrick's plan does become law, will consumers have to pay any higher prices?
John, there weren't any specifics other than Patrick saying some of these measures would be funded out of the state's $31 billion surplus. That said, building the fleet of emergency backup generators will be enormously expensive, and the experts I talked to say that cost will likely be passed on to every electricity customer in the state, and it could be going on for years.